Hello everyone, Sensible here. With the release of version 2.0, and especially the PS5 version, I know many of you are finally giving this game a try. Or maybe you've already started. Today, I'll be sharing some of the things I've learned since I started playing, including the mistakes I made, so you won't have to repeat them. Let's jump right in. First one, the first and best standard resonator to choose from. This is the first question you'll likely ask yourself as you start playing the game. Now, personal preference plays a role here, so some of you might disagree with me, and that's fine. Just keep those disagreements to yourself if you don't want to potentially suffer while playing. Here's what you need to know. When the Convene feature is unlocked, new players are given a 20% discount on the Novice Convene. This guarantees a 5-star standard resonator on your 50th pull, or only 40 pulls with the discount. Here's where people often debate. My advice? Make sure you get either Encore or Verena from the Novice Convene. Yes, Encore or Verena. If you don't, you might as well just re-roll your account. Encore is currently the most powerful standard 5-star resonators in the game. However, if you're not keen on re-rolling or simply don't want the hassle, it's up to you whether you go for her or not. It isn't really that important, especially that you can start pulling in the featured Convene. Verena, on the other hand, is a completely different story. She's an absolute must-have. Without her, you'll likely find yourself at a severe disadvantage. In fact, if you don't get Verena at the start, you might as well just quit the game. But don't worry too much though. New players receive a voucher of reciprocal tides, which lets you pick one 5-star standard resonator of your choice. So if you didn't get Verena from the Novice Convene, you can still choose her using the 5-star selector. The mistake I made. Now, I wouldn't really call this a mistake since we Day 1 players didn't have the 5-star selector available until a few days after launch. But for new players, this is something to avoid so you don't waste your precious Asterite. Here's what I mean. After you pull a 5-star resonator from the Novice Convene, the game offers you a Beginner's Choice Convene. This is a one-time convene where you can choose which 5-star standard resonator you'll get. But instead of 40, you need 80 pulls to guarantee the 5-star of your choice. But since you already have the 5-star selector, you don't need to pull on the Beginner's Choice Convene. Don't waste your Asterite there. Use that precious Asterite on featured Convene instead, where you'll have access to time-limited resonators. Next is weapons. Alright, Beginner Convene and Standard Resonator Convene are definite no-no. So, where should you actually use your standard pulls? Simple. The Standard Weapon Convene. Pretty much everyone in the Wuthering Waves community agrees that the best standard weapons are the sword and the gun. And honestly, that's still true today, especially the sword. If you can, snag that sword for your rover. You won't regret it. But if you got Encore, get the Cosmic Ripples first instead. The coolest thing about the weapon system in this game is how easy it is to switch weapons. You can use one weapon across multiple resonators, which makes clearing content like the Tower of Adversity so much easier. However, keep in mind that if the resonators are on the same team, they won't be able to share the same weapon. Now let me be real with you. 4-star weapons in this game? They suck. Sure, a couple of support weapons are okay, but honestly, with how easy it is to get 5-star weapons from both standard and limited featured weapon convenes, 4 stars just aren't worth your time. Add to that the ability to freely swap 5-star weapons between resonators, and you'll quickly see why investing resources into 4-star weapons is not worth it. If you're just starting out, you can use them for a bit, but keep their level around 40 so you don't waste materials. Anything beyond that is just throwing resources away. Asterite. If you are new to the game, the amount of Asterite you could get from events and world exploration will be astronomical, and with the release of Resonators region, it will be even more. Enough to pull 2 special resonators and their signature weapon and more if you're lucky. Don't ever use your precious Asterite to pull in standard weapon. At the start, the amount of Asterite you have will make you feel rich and think it is okay, but you will come to regret it soon enough. Don't rush, nobody is chasing behind you. Leveling resonators. Depending on how active you are in the game, resources can be very hard or costly to come by. Recent events that Kuro has provided have given us a ton of resources. But for new players with many characters to level up, you will still eventually reach a point where you run out of resources. As mentioned earlier, leveling up resonators, their talents, and weapons is where most of your resources will be spent. To make full and efficient use of your resources, there are a few things you need to keep in mind. 1. prioritize your main damage dealer. When choosing which Resonators to level up, prioritize your main damage dealer. Since most of your damage comes from this character, you'll want them to deal as much damage as possible. Other characters, like Verena, don't need to be leveled up as much. Their primary purpose is to support the damage dealer by buffing or healing, and many of their buffs are accessible even at low levels. Be selective with talent upgrades. You don't need to level up all talents to the highest level. In fact, you can ignore some of them and leave them at level 1. Each Resonator has their own unique specialty, which is tied to their talents. Some Resonators deal most of their damage through their Forte, Resonance Skill, Basic Attack, Resonance Liberation, or Intro Skill. When starting out, it's most efficient to focus on upgrading their key specialty and leave other talents for later to conserve resources. If you're unsure which talent to prioritize when upgrading specific Resonators, you can easily visit Reddit or Discord and ask for advice there. Many people are more than willing to help and guide you. The last I'm going to talk about is Waveplates. Waveplates are the currency used to collect rewards containing the materials needed to upgrade Resonators, weapons, and echoes. There isn't much to discuss here, but to make efficient use of your limited Waveplates, it's best to focus on character upgrades only. Never use your Waveplates on tacit fields, as that would be the most wasteful use of this resource. Instead, wait until you reach Union level 40 before considering spending them on tacit fields. Along with Waveplates, you'll also receive a few crystal solvents. Each solvent, when used, recovers 60 Waveplates. This is a rare item that you should use sparingly. When and where to use them depends entirely on your needs, but at the very least, avoid using them before Union level 40. Personally, I recommend using as few solvents as possible and saving them for later as much as you can tolerate. However, it's a different story once you reach Union level 50. At that point, feel free to use solvents more liberally to upgrade your main damage dealer to level 80, complete tacit fields, and more. From Union level 50 onwards, it will likely take about a month to reach Union level 60, which is the same amount of time it takes to progress to Union level 50 from 0. With these simple tips, you're ready to start your journey in Wuthering Waves. Take your time, plan wisely, enjoy the game, and explore the beautiful world of Solaris 3. Good luck and have fun.